welcome to Let's Go Racing. I'm Dani Gibson here with Dick Jerardi. Big show today. We have lots of racing this week at Parx. We're going to recap some of those thrillers. Plus, we're going to head to South Florida for the Grade 1 $3 million Pegasus World Cup. And there are other big stakes races from Gulfstream. Trainer Butch Reid sends out both Maximus Meridius and Global Steve that are going to run today at Aqueduct. We'll get you set for those big stakes races. Horse of the Year was Deserving Filly and Cotillion winner, no shocker, and we have the details. And join us for a tour of the Ivy Hill Therapeutic Equestrian Center. All these great stories on today's show, but Horse of the Year was very well deserved.
Torpedo Anna, just about unanimous. It was pretty clear, I think, for a couple of months what was going to happen once she won her race. And then nobody else, I mean, the other horses ran well, but nobody had the record she did. I mean, she's this far from having an undefeated season, including winning the Travers. And, of course, she won the Cotillion, which was the most important of all of her wins, of course.
Yeah, we saw her just have a dynamite year. She's in history with Rachel Alexandra. Not many fillies get that Horse of the Year title.
Indeed, Zenyatta got it, but it is hard generally to get. You can go all the way back to Lady's Secret, which is way back, probably even before you were in the game.
It
won a Horse of the Year.
Well, so much going on. We are on the Kentucky Derby Trail. We have some points races to discuss, but let's go down, get some local racing of the week. Parx was rocking and rolling. We had 4 race days here, but we're going to take a look at Monday's 7th race. It's a PA bred allowance for fillies and mares going 2 turns, a mile and 70 yards, $41,000, and our favorite is Pleasant Dreams.
Love the name, love the form for this horse. Just doesn't run too many bad races for Hugo Petit.
No, the Goddess of Snakes, very familiar with this mare, as my fiance Miguel used to have her in the barn. She's really consistent. Second choice for Scott Lake.
Yeah, I'd be curious where this name came from. I mean, I love it. Richie Malouf now owns, as you said, with Scott, but yeah, the Goddess of Snakes.
I like it. Well, here it is. It was Monday's 7th race, PA bred allowance.
And Beautiful Crazy Girl doing it with her ears pricked. More Ransom, she's in second to the outside. Sophie Sue, then it's the Goddess of Snakes. Plus Size Courage, she's into 5th. Then it's True Phenomenon. Back to Pleasant Dreams and Moon Boots. The order remains largely unchanged. Beautiful Crazy Girl trying to take them gate to wire. She has a half mile left to go. 48-2. Beautiful Crazy Girl leads the way. More Ransom, she's in second and beginning to gain. On the outside, Sophie Sue under a drive. She's in third and picking up her pace. The Goddess of Snakes is in 4th, followed by Plus Size Courage. True Phenomenon, Moon Boots getting in gear from the back. Now the trailer, Pleasant Dreams. They go around the far turn, and Beautiful Crazy Girl has a comfortable lead. Her stablemate, the Goddess of Snakes, she's making her run up the rail. She's now into second over More Ransom, who's back into third. At the top of the stretch, they're all trying to catch Beautiful Crazy Girl with that big blaze. Beautiful Crazy Girl, Frankie Pennington asks her for more. She is responding and game. Her stablemate, the Goddess of Snakes, trying to reel her in. On the front end, Beautiful Crazy Girl, she has about a 16th left to go. Beautiful Crazy Girl opening up now, and Beautiful Crazy Girl going to be a 1-2 punch for Scott Lake.
Well, trainer Scott Lake got the 1-2 finish with Beautiful Crazy Girl getting the win. Homebred for owner Richard Malouf, the Goddess of Snakes, a really good second. Good win here for Scott.
Yeah, loose on the lead and long gone. Danny wins this thing by 7.5 lengths at the wire.
They were rolling. Well, let's get to the PA bred boys. We're going to take a look back at Monday's 9th race. PA bred allowance optional claiming $42,000 per 7 furlongs. That tricky distance and drop line coming off a roll of wins here for Bobby Mosco.
Yeah, one big at Penn National, got an 84 buyer, which is a career best.
And Uptown Charlie Brown, our friends, bred this horse, but now in the barn of Esteban Padilla, Young Squire.
Young Squire does nothing but run really good races when he's on the top of his game. Danny didn't win last year, but ran pretty good races.
Solid field here, the PA breds in Monday's 9th.
The opening quarter, 23 flat, less than a half mile left to go, and Dropline has been doing it in a canter, well within himself on the lead. Chasing now into second, Get Set, then on the outside, Classic Union, Meet Me at Mondays, followed by Young Squire. Prince of Rain getting in gear from the back, Notice of Action, now 7th and last, losing some ground, 46-1, and Dropline continuing to coast on the front end. Get Set, trying to make a race of it. He's coming up the rail to try to challenge Dropline. They go around the far turn, but Dropline has yet to really be asked. He's looking for his 4th straight win. Get Set, trying to have something to say about that. Dropline now gets asked for a little bit more, and he is game and responding. On the outside, Get Set, trying to reel him in. Dropline may have his number. Dropline maintains that lead. Get Set continues to grind away at 16th left. Dropline looks like he's going to take them gate to wire en route to his 4th straight victory.
Dropline with that huge stride makes it 4 in a row. Nice horse for Jack Armstrong, Bobby Moscow. Abner Adorno just looked like a passenger up there.
Yeah, they just seem to find these horses that can reel off a bunch of wins in a row. Just how sharp the stable is, obviously Jack and Bobby together.
This is a horse I think everyone should look out for, because I know we don't have PA bred stakes quite around the corner, but he's one I think is going to be really competitive.
Oh, there we go.
We're going to go to our first break. When we come back, we're going to catch up with trainer Butch Reid, who sends out 2 horses in big stakes today at Aqueduct. You don't want to miss it.
It's happening again. Those missed tackles are starting to stack up. Your friends pleading with players who can't hear them, sweating it out week after week. But not you. Why? Because whether they score or not, there's always another way to win on the Parx app. New casino users score up to $1,000 bonus back in their first 24 hours.
The question a lot of people are asking themselves these days is, do I buy new or do I buy pre-owned? Here's what I'll tell you. New car inventories are still low and new car prices are still high. However, with the certified pre-owned Nissan at Chapman Nissan, we have a huge selection and you can save thousands over new. Plus a 7-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty, roadside assistance, 1-year prepaid maintenance, and so much more. And not for nothing. Can you really tell the difference? I can't.
Welcome back to Let's Go Racing. Well, Dick, it's Kentucky Derby season, and one of our trainers, Butch Reid, is going to send Global Steve to take on the Withers. He won it last year with Uncle Heavy.
He did.
He also has Maximus Meridius coming off a big stakes win in the Gravesend's going to go in the Toboggan. What do you think?
Both of them drew the 1 hole. Michael Sanchez is scheduled to ride a mile and 1/8 at the Withers. Global Steve, I thought, was the most impressive 2-year-old I saw, just because of the way he won. Now, he hasn't run fast yet. He's going to have to run fast to win these kind of races, but I like how he runs. And Maximus Meridius is absolutely in the form of his life. But again, both have the 1 hole, which can occasionally be tricky, but it could also be a good thing.
Well, I was in his barn earlier this week, and I got to catch up with trainer Butch Reid on how his horses are doing coming into the big race. Here with trainer Butch Reid, who sends out 2 future stars in some big races up at Aqueduct. Let's start with Maximus Meridius, coming off a really nice win in the Gravesend, now in the Toboggan. Tell us how he's doing, and what do you think about coming into the race?
Doing really well. You know, we had to dodge the weather a little bit with his training, but both of his breezes went off as scheduled, and he did really fantastic. So I think he's coming up to the race really well.
He's a horse that you knew had a lot of talent, but you had to get him mentally there. You talk about gelding him. That's really been a big turnaround. Why do you think so?
It certainly has. Yeah, he's just a much more serious horse than he was before. He had a bad habit previously of waiting. He would make the lead and then wait on horses, which is not a good habit for a racehorse. So hopefully we've broken him of that, and he'll come from off the pace. He doesn't mind dirt in his face, and he's very handy horse. You can go either way with him.
The 3-year-olds always bring a lot of excitement, and Global Steve's going to take on the Withers. You won this very race last year with barn favorite Uncle Heavy. How's it feel to come back and try to, keep your title?
Yeah, it's very neat. Yeah, we've had some success in New York, and it's always great to go back there and try and get some of that New York money. But horse is doing very well. We're asking a lot of him. We're jumping from 7/8 to a mile and 1/8. But he acts like he can handle it. He's really settling in to be a nice horse, and we're very high on his prospects.
We have 2 very nice horses, and we'll all be rooting for you. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks so much. Really appreciate that.
All right, good luck to Butch Reid and his 2 horses, Global Steve and Maximus Meridius. We'll all be rooting for you. Let's get back to some more local racing at Parx. We're going to take a look back at Tuesday's 9th race, optional claiming $100,000 to claim one of these horses, running for $55,000, 6.5 furlongs. Spike Zone, the claiming horse of the year in the country last year, is our favorite.
Yeah, I mean, what a ridiculous year he had. I mean, 11 wins last year? That doesn't happen in this sport anymore. For Jamie Ness, who wins a race or 2 occasionally. But yeah, finalist, I would think, for Horse of the Year here at Parx, and our awards. We'll get to that in a minute.
We will. Well, Paradise Valley for the Kate DeMasi barn is second choice. Big Gray, and he can run some big numbers.
I like a horse that half the time gets to the winner's circle. 13 starts, 6 wins, 3 seconds.
Well, here it is. This is a very competitive field. Let's see who wins Tuesday's 9th race.
Trader's Luck is game on the lead. Spike Zone's back into second. Those two are slugging it out as they go through the far turn. On the inside, Spike Zone has reclaimed the lead. Trader's Luck sticks with him. Vison's making his run. He's coming up the rail now into third. They go around the far turn, 45-2. Spike Zone to the outside. Trader's Luck, Vison with some momentum. Spike Zone's resilient. Vison making his rally. Spike Zone, here comes Vison up to challenge Spike Zone. And on the outside, Vison goes right on by. Spike Zone digging in, finding more. A 16th left. Vison has the lead, and Vison's going to pull the upset here. Vison over Spike Zone.
Well, things changed when the gates opened. Spike Zone missed the break. Vison, big win. Sylvester Gonzalez up. Homebred for owner Chuck Russo. He even owns the stallion Il Volano, a little gray horse, but has some nice horses.
Yeah, this has been a really good horse for Chuck. I mean, we're talking closing on $500,000 now in earnings for Vison, and still going strong at 5 years old.
Yeah, Spike Zone rallied for a second, but this was a tough race. Lots of good horses in this race. Well, let's get to this week's national race. We're talking about the Grade 1 $3 million Pegasus down at Gulfstream Park. It was the race of the week. Locked is our post-time favorite.
I was really surprised this horse was favored, Danny, to be honest with you. Won the Cigar Mile, fine, and it was a really good 2-year-old. It came back running. But it's a terrible post at this racetrack, and everybody that bets the track knows that, and they made him 9-5. That surprised me.
Well, do you think Rapoli's whole family bet on him?
They always do.
White Abarrio, our classic winner, second choice.
Yeah, back with Safi Joseph now, won the Breeders' Cup Classic, won the Whitney for Rick Dutrow. I mean, looked awesome, and then things went bad last year, but man, he looks like he's in top form. And we also have the Kentucky Derby winner in here, Mystic Dan, who gave a mysterious performance in California in his first start.
He sure did.
Saudi Crown has the lead by a length and a half. Mystic Dan races on the outside of his second running stronghold. Moving out the rail in fourth is Mixto. Then it's a well-settled White Abarrio. He's the gray. He's in the clear, and he's only about 2 lengths off the pace setter. New Grange is next. He's racing about 5 lengths behind with Skippy Longstocking to his inside. Then it's a 2-length margin to Locked. He spots the leader about 6.5 lengths, working 4 in front of Steel Sunshine, then Power Squeeze, and Croupy is last. They went the opening half mile in 46-3, and they swing around the far turn. Saudi Crown yet to face a threat. He's a length and a half in front with 3 furlongs to go. White Abarrio makes his move into second now. Moving up toward the inside, that stronghold from between horses, Mystic Dan, but he's dropping back. Trying to get underway is Locked. The favorite has a lot to do. He's warming to the task, 7 lengths off the lead, but the Grays are 1-2. And here comes Florida Derby champ White Abarrio, looming up on the outside, and he powers right by Saudi Crown. White Abarrio is opening up with 1/8 of a mile to go. Back to second is Saudi Crown, Skippy Longstocking, and Locked are next. But this is a tour de force, a Pegasus World Cup to add to his Florida Derby.
White Abarrio did not disappoint. Huge performance there with Irad. Lots of emotion for Safi Joseph. Look, he had this horse early in its career. He had a little trouble. They gave it to Dutrow, who obviously won the Classic, and he's back down in Florida.
Yeah, won the Florida Derby for Safi, and Safi had himself a day, as we'll get to in a second. But yeah, right back to his best form, 109 Beyer. I mean, he crushed this field. This is a good field. Locke got just too far behind, couldn't make up any ground, but it's going to be cool to see White Abarrio now as a, what's 5-year-old, 6-year-old? How old is this horse? I mean, it seems like he's been around for a long time now. But I think that with him and fierceness, I mean, Sierra Leone is going to be some year in the older horse category.
Yeah, White Abarrio is 6, and sometimes that could be their best year.
Yeah, they're gone by now. It's cool that White Abarrio is still running.
Well, let's go to 3-year-olds on the Kentucky Derby Trail going through Arkansas. We're talking about the Grade 3 Southwest Stakes, $1 million big purse 2 going a mile and 16th, and our favorite, Patch Adams. And that is one cute name.
Yeah, Patch Adams, Brad Cox, Windstar. They win some races together.
And second choice is coming from California. Baffert sends out Gaming.
Yeah, Gaming is just one of these mystery horses. I keep thinking he's better than he is, and I think Baffert thinks the same thing. See if he can do it today.
Here's the call to Southwest.
The leader, Speed King on a hold. American Promise, though, he's turning up the pressure, and these two hook up into the far turn run, and they soar away from the rest of the group. Those two are 6 lengths clear of Bon Temps, who's bowing out in the 3rd position. Patch Adams is getting going now. He's into the 4th position, and Sandman is following him. Sandman making a run now, but still has a lot of work to do as they come to the top of the lane. Speed King, Rafael Bejarano putting away American Promise, and Speed King says, come Come and catch me if you can. Speed King down the lane with a 3-length lead. Look at Sandman after the bad break. He's run a tenacious race. And Patch Adams, they're moving after Speed King. Speed King, 16th to go. He's 2 ahead. Sandman trying to get him. Speed King holding on. Sandman trying to dive after him, but it's going to be Speed King.
Speed King gets the win there. Bejarano on there for Ron Moquette. Led the whole way. Look, we got to give credit to Sandman. Almost lost the rider there. Christian Torres came back with a huge run. I think that made all the difference. I think Sandman was your winner.
Yeah, he ran great. Speed King loose in the lead, appropriate name. Sandman absolutely ran tremendous. Patch Adams not particularly good, got a little far behind. And Gaming, as advertised, was not so good. I think he'll be off the trail. Baffert's got enough other good ones.
He's coming with vengeance this year. Well, we'll look forward to the Southwest to the Rebel Stakes, see what happens next. Well, let's go to 3-year-olds down in Laurel Park. It's the spectacular bid, 7 furlongs, $100,000, and our favorite is Tony Eclipse.
Yeah, Tony Eclipse at 3-5 for Brittany Russell, won the Maryland Juvenile. Good numbers, mid-80s regularly. Those some big numbers for a 2-year-old late in the year. We're interested in this because a Crab Daddy specifically ran second in the Future Stars here at Parx on the 30th of December. Right wing runner for our man Scott Lake. It was very impressive, breaking his maiden back in September.
3-year-olds in the spectacular bid. Here it is.
Crab Daddy's grabbed that lead with 3 furlongs left to go. Right wing runners is second. Hawkstone is in third position. And next a length and a half more. Barbadian runners in fourth. Sacred Thunder trying to advance in between horses. Tony Eclipse dropped back but taken out wide for the final quarter mile. Tony Eclipse going to have to come 6-7 wide, but is willing to move on now at the top of the lane. It's a wide open affair. Into the stretch now. Crab Daddy fights on. Right wing runners right there. And Barbadian runners set down on the far outside there. Now switching out is Sacred Thunder. Sacred Thunder's just off heels now, coming on the far outside with a nice run. Crab Daddy battles Barbadian runner, Crab Daddy fighting on the inside. Sacred Thunder joins photo.
And Barbadian runner gets the win with Forrest Boyce. And let's talk about right wing runner. Look, he kind of missed the break. He was rushed up, but he had a big run. He did get tired as our Parx horses missed some training with the weather, but I still like him for Scott Lake. I think he's got a big performance in him.
37-1 outran his odds, certainly, Danny. And Crab Daddy, who finished second, and the key here is who did he get beat by last time? Global Steve, who we'll see in the Withers at Aqueduct later today.
And Crab Daddy won our PA Nursery Stakes this year.
He did.
Well, we're going to take another break. When we come back, we're going to take a tour of the Ivy Hill Equine Facility. You don't want to miss it, plus much more all coming up.
This is Parx.
This is how you roll, this is how it goes. This is how you pop, this is how you rock. Take a chance, do a dance, little romance. This is how you win. This is how you excite, this is how you all night. 360 hit me, now we're going all in. I can feel it calling, the crowd, the light, the night, the sights, the vibe is right. This is how you. This is
Parx, Pennsylvania's #1 casino experience. This is how you win.
Welcome back to Let's Go Racing. Well, our track announcer, Jessica Paquette, took a tour at the Ivy Hill Equine Facility that was started in 1998 by Regina and Lee Greaser for their son, Michael, who does have autism. They use all horse breeds here to have equine assisted services for over 200 individuals per week that have various disabilities. Here's more with Jessica.
Hi everyone, Jessica Paquette here. We've taken a field trip today from Parx to Percy, Pennsylvania to Ivy Hill to learn more about their therapeutic program. Horses lend us the wings that we lack, and a therapeutic program can have an incredible transformative effect on the folks lucky enough to be involved. We're excited to show you everything that's going on here at Ivy Hill today.
The program actually started in 1998, so it's 26 years old right now. We were fortunate enough to find this property. It didn't have the facility on it, but it did have a small horse farm here, so we thought, and a neighbor that was a horse person, so we thought this would be a great place.
So today we have about 90 riders in the program, probably about 85 families. We have 10 horses in the herd today. Each horse delivers about 400 lessons or so a year. Our lesson volume is around 4,000 lessons a year.
I had an older brother who had more than his fair share of challenges. I actually had a client that was the president of Ivy Hill, And I was, with a couple of years, ready to retire, thinking about what I wanted to do. My wife and daughter had gotten into the horse business. I noticed how much the horses stood around with nothing to do, and I've always had a passion for trying to help special needs organizations.
The thing we really want to know is that the riding program that we offer is having a positive impact on riders and their families. We conduct surveys on a periodic basis to get that sort of feedback. And those surveys overwhelmingly tell us that the program has a positive impact on the families.
I was a psychology major in college. I mean, I love horses. I grew up with horses, but what drew me to this type of work is that I thought, as a psychology major, I thought it was very cool that this is a form of therapy that works across all different diagnoses and disabilities. So this is Evan, one of our riders, and this is Flash, our Norwegian Fjord, and one of our therapy horses. Evan starts off all of his sessions doing some brushing with the horses. A lot of our riders enjoy the sensory input and the kind of calming experience of brushing the horses.
Evan is 31, and he's ridden, he started riding when he was about 5 or 6 years old. He rode for about 3 or 4 years at another facility. He's really happy to come. He enjoys it, as you can see. He is calm when he brushes, and when he rides, it just kind of changes his whole demeanor.
So Carter's 3.5, and he has Noonan syndrome, and I'm a physical therapist, so I'm always looking for therapies that might be helpful for him. So very excited to come each and every time we come. Faith, his instructor, is wonderful to work with. He is gaining core strength, and he's learning how to follow direction, communicate with Faith, as well as Bradley, his horse, and different commands that they're working on when they're in the ring, balance when he's on the horse itself, and his confidence level.
One of the things that we find challenging and find important is to try and maintain the cost of lessons, the family's participation in what it costs to operate a place like Ivy Hill at the most reasonable level we can. In fact, at a reasonable level that enables us to figure out a way to offer lessons to anybody who wants to enter the program.
Our two biggest fundraisers every year, one is in the spring, and that's our Kentucky Derby silent auction, and in the fall we have our golf outing.
In the summertime, for the wine lovers around us, we have the Equine and Wine fundraiser, which is relatively new, so it's just gathering some steam. So today, the family's participation covers about half of our costs, and fundraising covers the other half.
I think the most important thing for someone who wants to donate to Ivy Hill to know is that 90 cents on the dollar of every dollar that they donate goes directly to supporting our riders and our programs. So almost all of their donation goes immediately back to our riders, to our herd, to our programs, and that's what helps sustain our day-to-day operations.
It has been an incredible afternoon learning about the transformative power of horses here at Ivy Hill Equestrian, a place that offers equine-assisted therapy in an inclusive environment to members of the community. If you're interested in volunteering, donating, or learning more, visit ivyhillequestrian.org.
So great to have this wonderful facility so close by, and horses are so therapeutic for so many different reasons.
They surely are, and that was a great report by Jess.
Well, now it's time for our Jockey of the Week, brought to you by NovaCare. Congratulations, Eliseo Ruiz, who continues to get horses in the winner's circle. Multiple wins this week, making him our Jockey of the Week, sponsored by NovaCare, the power of physical therapy. Now let's see who this week's Trainer of the Week is. Congratulations, Jack Abrams, this week's Trainer of the Week. He captured 3 wins for his small but very competitive stable here at Parx. The PTHA proudly partners with the Tunnel to Towers Foundation to bring you this week's Trainer of the Week. Now it's time for another Turning for Home Family Photo of the Week. This one means a lot. It's Soup. He was a horse that was trained and owned by Miguel Rodriguez. Winless. Horse racing was not for him, but you can see he's right where he needs to be after some time with Lex Ryan, one of our partner farms with Ears and Gears stable in South Jersey. He was adopted by Allison. Look, Soup's shining spirit. You can already see plenty of blue ribbons in their future. What a wonderful duo.
I love that story.
Lifetime of love for those two. Well, let's get to best of the rest. We're going back to Gulfstream Park. The Pegasus World Cup filly and mare turf, $500,000 going a mile and 16. Safi sends out a beast here.
Yeah, keep your eye on the 3. Be Your Best. She's been there the whole way, and here comes a closing. I mean, a wild late run for the 10. Sacred Wish. Is Be Your Best going to hold on? She is, Danny, at 7-1 for Safi Joseph, who had himself some kind of a day.
The win for the Ireland bred. Well, we're going to keep it going at Gulfstream. Filly's going 7 furlongs in the Inside Information Stakes. $215,000 purse. It's a grade 2. And Safi has Mystic Lake.
Yeah, similar scenario. Mystic Lake, the 7, has been there the whole way. And Emery, who's your even money favorite, the 9, is closing for Brad Cox and Tyler Gaffalione. But Mystic Lake is going to win it. Safi with 3 wins, including the Pegasus World Cup. And, of course, his first big win of his career was right here in 2019 with Math Wizard won the PA Derby for our buddy John Finelli.
What a scene that was. I will never forget that moment. Well, let's go. Fillies and mares are having fun, so let's keep it going. It was this week's PTHA Trophy Race, Tuesday's 4th race for claiming horses, going 6 furlongs. Now, everything's going to go wrong for Lady Annabelle, but she still gets the win.
Yeah, Lady Annabelle's 8-1. She's far back. The even money favorite, sunny side up. It kind of got into the race in the middle of it, but here comes Lady Annabelle. Is she going to get up for her man Flint Stites? She is.
And I'm a big fan of trainer Flint Stites, and I caught up with him after the win.
Flint Stites, he just won our PTHA Trophy race. That was a thrilling race. You were way far out. What were you thinking?
Well, she did everything but fall down. I was worried she was going to run up on heels in the stretch, but he got her out, got her in the clear. She's still learning. She's very green. She was climbing a lot down the back stretch with the dirt hitting her in the face, but luckily we made the right drop and got her in an easy race, and I think it's helped her a lot. So
I got to give you and your team so much credit. I see you at all racetracks in the receiving barn all day with your horses. You work really hard. You deserve this.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Horse racing is one passionate industry, and Flint Stites embodies all of that. He's so hardworking, really happy for this week's win.
He's been a great trainer for a long time.
Well, it's time for Eye on Racing, and it is such an exciting time. 3-year-olds on the Kentucky Derby Trail. We have a lot going on today.
Yeah, and a big name in the Lewis at Santa Anita. This is race 4. Citizen Bull, your 2-year-old champ, is back. Baffert has a couple others in there, shockingly. And also the Holy Bull, speaking of bulls, at Gulfstream Park. We'll see if something comes out of South Florida this year.
And we'll all be rooting at Aqueduct today. We know that.
Indeed.
Well, me and DJ are going to try to make you some money, but you have to wait for this break first. When we come back, we'll have Parx Picks.
It's happening again. Those missed tackles are starting to stack up. Your friends pleading with players who can't hear them, sweating it out week after week. But not you. Why? Because whether they score or not, there's always another way to win on the Parx app. New casino users score up to $1,000 bonus back in their first 24 hours.
Welcome back, everybody, to Let's Go Racing. It is time for Parx Picks. We get very competitive. We take our handicapping serious. We're going to take a look at Monday's 9th race. Big purse, $50,000. Optional claiming, 1 mile and 70 yards. I'm going with a different connections here. I'm going to go outside. Awesome Flay. Look, Harry Weiner's had some luck lately. The horses are running. Alexander Crispin, a jockey we see a lot at Maryland, but he's been riding here. He is a good rider. He's good on the outside. He's a good position rider. This horse has the numbers. I think gets the win. Awesome Flay.
He's been very good since the claim for Harry. Look, Jamie Ness says it's game time. I love horses like this. 87 starts, 18 wins. Now the 9-year-old. His form isn't as good as it used to be. I'm going to go with In Spades, however. Felicia Dunn, Michael Sanchez. Numbers are there. Running style is there. In Spades for me, Danny.
I like our picks. Well, that wraps it up, but we are back to 3 days a week of racing. 12:05 is first post. Come join us. You won't regret it. Thanks for watching DJ and I's Week, and we'll catch you next time on Let's Go Racing.
And they're off. Skippy Longstocking has early speed. We the people from in between horses. Taba has got the lead now. It's Taba in the center of the racetrack, but Taba is drawing away, and Taba with Mike Smith, they win the Parx Pennsylvania Derby.